Hello, I'm Cody.
I'm Kristy.
And today we'll be talking about the Bungie Era of Halo, which we actually just completed. We just barely beat Halo Reach a few days ago. I actually like the Master Chief Collection quite a bit, not gonna lie. I never played Halo as a kid, but I really did enjoy the Bungie Era. We're just gonna kind of give our insight on each of the 5 games, 1, 2, 3, ODST, and Reach, and kind of our opinions on them, which one was our favorite. And after this video, we will start Halo 4. I don't know if we'll make a video on Halo 4, just depends on how we think it personally is story-wise, if it kind of follows the same beats as the Bungie Era. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. Anything you'd like to say before we start, Kristy?
No.
Okay. So first we will start with Halo 1. So it's called Halo CE Combat Evolved. I've only ever played this game once when I was a kid on one level, the first level. And I didn't beat it as a kid, and same as Halo 3. Played that once with a friend named Zach Clausen. We didn't really beat it, just had fun on co-op. But we actually beat all of these, so you guys know, on story co-op throughout the campaign. So we both played them together. Nothing was played single-player-wise. And we all played them on Heroic, which I've heard is the difficulty it should be played on to get the real Halo experience of the most badassery from Master Chief and like the toughest aliens, where they're not too overpowered. So Halo 1, where I would rate out of the 5, my top spot's kind of conflicted between 2 right now, but I'd probably put Halo 1, to be honest, in my second. I'd probably say third spot, depending on what everyone got number 1. But as of right now, I would put Halo 1 in the second spot as the best games. I thought it was a great introduction to the world. It was kind of cool learning about the Halos, the mythology behind it, Master Chief a little bit, kind of learning what he is. And I think the Flood was an awesome twist, because I didn't know going in, personally, when they show up halfway through Halo CE. And I would give the first one a 10 out of 10. I thought it was a great introduction to the character, great mechanics, great controls, and I personally didn't have any complaints. So that's kind of my little short review there of Halo 1. What about you, Kristy?
I liked Halo 1 a lot. I liked the beginning of the introduction with the Flood. I thought the beginning of the introduction with the Flood was really fun, but I won't lie, the minute that they were gone, I did not miss fighting them. It was just more obnoxious a little bit, but I liked the Flood. I thought it was a cool addition to the game, but them always being a part of it and like being so much, it was kind of like a mobbing kind of feel. I didn't always love that. That was my thing for it. I did like seeing Master Chief come out of the sleep.
Crossley.
Yeah, I loved that. I thought that was really cool. And then, are we talking about Reach as well?
Just one.
Just one?
Just Halo CE, the first one.
Oh, okay. I did like the first one a lot.
Awesome. And what would you rank that out of 10?
I'd give it like at least an 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
What would you give it?
I give it a 10.
You give it a 10?
Mm-hmm.
I liked the weapons a lot more in 10.
In 10.
In 10. In
don't have
the
a
first
Halo.
one. Stop. In the first one. I liked the weapons a lot in the first one. I thought the weapons were better. I thought it was really cool with... Didn't we get to have the blade in the first one too?
The energy sword?
Yeah.
You can at parts, I think, if you get it from an enemy. Because
Yeah.
the Alberta's not in the first one.
I loved the energy sword too. I thought that was super cool. What? Why are you laughing? You asked
No,
me, and
you
I'm just
get
trying
it.
to tell you.
So she gives it an 8 out of 10. And
Maybe 8.5.
8.5?
Yeah.
8 3/4?
Okay, 9. Let's just
Do you want to do 9?
really shove it to
Okay.
9.
We'll do a 9. And then a segue to Halo 2, which I think is a huge, huge success as a sequel. You get to learn way more mythology in the Halo world, the Prophet background, more about the Flood, the Halo rings, and you also learn about the Arbiter, his whole entire backstory on the Covenant, and like their squadron at the time. And then you also get to play as the Arbiter, switching between Master Chief, going invisible with the energy sword. Zero complaints on Halo 2. They introduced dual wielding. I thought it was a phenomenal sequel. And that's the one I'd put in the number 1 spot, tied with Halo Reach. I'll get to Reach at the end, but I think Halo 2 and Halo Reach are by far the best 2. And I have zero complaints about Halo 2. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. And I would both replay 1 and 2, personally. I can't think of anything negative to brought upon the franchise going forward. What about you for Halo 2?
No, I did like Halo 2. The weapons were still good during that time, too. The controls were a little bit different, weren't they?
A little bit.
Yeah, I remember the controls changing just a little bit. I like the story a lot. I think the story is really good. I like how the story develops a lot more as well in 2. But I do love the sceneries too. The scenes that we get to see through it was really cool.
You mean the cutscenes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the actual like landscaping itself is really cool.
Like the levels.
And like seeing the like aliens, like ships and everything, it's always really cool. And the weapons that they always have, those laser guns suck. I hate the laser snipers.
Oh, the jackal snipers?
Yeah.
A lot of people hate those.
But I think they're fun. I like to kill them with my own sniper.
And then what would you give them out of 10?
I think I liked the first one a little bit more than the second one. So I probably would give like the second one an 8.
So an 8?
Yeah.
So first one 9, second one 8?
Yeah.
Okay. And just so you guys know as well, my favorite gun in the whole franchise was the shotgun, and she liked the assault rifle. Or the assault sniper rifle. That was her favorite gun. Leading into Halo 3, which some people like Halo 3 a lot, I personally kind of dropped the ball for ending the original trilogy. I wish they just had more chapters, like Halo 2 had 15, and then Halo 1 had 10, and Halo 3 goes back to 10, I believe. And it definitely feels like they're missing certain parts where it kind of just rushes to the ending to try to wrap everything up. My main issues, and I have kind of 3 of them, is one is when Cortana's like, oh, I have another way we can defeat the Flood / the Gravemind. We never find out what that is in-game. The Gravemind, by the way, was an amazing, amazing character, really cool introduction, and I love how Halo 2 ends with the cutscene of him like getting all the information from Cortana. She's like, what do you want to know? Another pro for Halo 2, but Halo 3, like, and like when they go to the end of it, the Gravemind sends the Flood all to one location where they all end up dying like the fake Halo ring. And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, if the Halos detonate, the galaxy's destroyed. But there happens to be this one ring in the middle of nowhere where if we're all on that one and it explodes since it's not finished, it won't destroy the galaxy. That was kind of, I feel like, an ass pull a little bit. And I feel like it just kind of felt like a rushed ending. So I'd probably give Halo 3 like a 6.5 to 7. Gameplay-wise, I had no issues. It was all just story-related. And that's kind of where I'm at with Halo 3. I thought it was kind of a sad ending to the franchise where they just try to like hurry and wrap it up and kind of just tie the bow on it. I also don't like, well, this is a cool part, since we played co-op, is I like how one's Master Chief and one's Arbiter. I think that's really cool where you're not both just duplicating the other person. But I think it's kind of lame that they took away Arbiter's invisibility, which was a super big key factor of 2. I get they're trying to make it more level playing field, but I wasn't a big fan of that in 3, and that's kind of my consensus on 3.
I liked his invisibility. I thought it was cool because it kind of put him apart from Master Chief, and it still had him be his like own thing. So when they took that away, it was really disappointing because I liked playing as him, and I hated that I wasn't able to go invisible because Master Chief is supposed to be this strong soldier, invincible, can handle anything, and the Arbiter is supposed to be essentially a Master Chief, but to his own people. And to, like, take away something that's supposed to be unique to him kind of sucked. I do think that hurt the game a lot.
Yeah.
And I was really upset about... I agree that I felt like they kind of rushed it. I did think the Gravemind was a really cool addition, though.
And 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really did like the Gravemind. I think that was your favorite chapter, too, wasn't it?
In 2, I believe it was. My favorite chapter between all of them is probably still Silent Cartographer. I love like beach and island fills. I love Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, and I like in Halo 1 where you're on a beach and like a warthog kill and stuff. That's probably my favorite still.
Yeah. I liked it for the most part. It wasn't my favorite. I would definitely play the first one before I played the third one again.
And the second.
Yeah. Even the second. Well, I really liked the beginning of it. Like, the beginning was just so strong.
Yeah, I could see that. So what would you give 3 out of 10?
I would probably give it like a 6.5.
About
6.
the same?
Yeah.
6.5, 7?
No. 6.5. 7.
Okay. Segue into Halo 3 ODST. A cool little fun fact my friend Austin Campbell told me about is, since I didn't grow up with these games, I didn't know a lot of the lore. I kind of got to experience it for the first time playing through them this year. Is since Bungie did so good with 1, 2, and 3, the original trilogy, is they literally said, like, make any Halo game you like since you've done so well, and just make it whatever you think would be fun and creative. And they made Halo 3 ODST, which takes place kind of in between 2 at one part, where the ship goes through hyperspeed, and then you're, like, the cadets and, like, the troops on the city and around Earth, fighting a losing war, basically, against the Covenant. Halo 3 ODST, off the bat, I'm just going to give it, like... It's a weird game for me to rank because it literally has such a Call of Duty vibe, and it's just a fun, like, shooter. I wouldn't replay ODST. I don't think it's a horrible game. I don't think it's an amazing game. I'd probably give it, realistically, like a 6.5, 7, same as 3. It's not bad. The story's okay, I think. It's not crazy intriguing. It's just, like, fun Covenant battles. It's super short, too, compared to the other 3, but that's not a problem. But I feel like it's definitely the weird child of the first 5 of Bungie, so I'd probably say that's where I put ODST. I don't really have a lot to say about it, because they didn't introduce a lot of cool new things. They kind of just used what they had before, which is fine. But that's kind of where I put ODST. It's definitely the weird one, I feel
It didn't
like.
progress the story at all.
Well, no, it's supposed to be like a prequel between 2.
Yeah.
Because they want 3 to be the end, which I do think 3 gives a satisfying conclusion, with him going back into cryo sleep when he wakes up in 1. Like, it mirrors it very well. Like, 3 definitely does some cool stuff. But that's where I'd probably say, and then, yeah, that's kind of where I'd put ODST. What about you?
There was a few things that I thought were cool.
It's extremely dark, by the way.
It's so dark. You go anywhere through halls or anything, just imagine turning off all the lights and closing your eyes.
Yeah, you need to use your night
That's
vision.
what it is. But I did not like how dark it was, because even with night vision, it was still hard to see some things. But I thought that the night vision was a cool touch. I did like the night vision for the most part. I just hated how everything was so dark. I kept asking him to turn up the light too, but he wouldn't do it for me.
Gotta play authentic.
Gotta play authentic. I did like seeing some of the leaders. Like, it was cool kind of seeing more of like the humans fight for it. Like the other soldiers and everyone that's still there, and it's not just Master Chief.
Which I think was their intention.
Which
to
was
show
their
like
intention.
it's not
it's 100% their intention.
Yeah, it's trying to show there's other soldiers during the war, not just Master Chief. Which it makes sense.
Yeah, which was really cool. It was cool to see other people's perspective on the war itself, not just Master Chief, and seeing Cortana, even though we love Cortana. And I thought that was really cool. I liked it. It was fairly easy to find where you were going at some parts, but there were some parts where, like, you have a big map, and it just shows that everything's locked, and you just have to figure it out.
I'll agree with her on that. The map's a little wonky and funky.
Yeah. So there was a couple parts where it was, like, okay, but we had a harder time finding where to go, I think, in second, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we actually... So on co-op, I don't know if you guys have played on co-op before. I imagine you have if you're watching the video and you're a Halo fan. Is you can't save levels until you beat them. And there's a level in Halo 2 where we played for 5 hours when we didn't know where to go or what to do. We had to watch a YouTube tutorial on it to find out we broke the order of events because we went past this area you're supposed to trigger something in. And I'm glad in 3 they added a waypoint, because I'm assuming that was a lot of people's probably issue at that time, because like you could just roam around and you're like, I don't know where the hell to go. And like they finally added a waypoint, which made it super nice in 3. But I also liked in the original trilogy the skulls. I found some in all 3 of them. I don't think Kristy found any.
No, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I found a couple.
Okay.
Don't take away my achievements.
But I found some of the skulls in all 3 of them, and I thought those were super cool when you found them. I thought it was kind of like a cool little Easter egg. But yeah, so that's kind of my consensus on the skulls. But going back to what Chris said with the map, it is kind of funky in ODST, because they use like a waypoint kind of mixed with like a radio talking to you where to go. And it's just a really interesting way of going about it, I guess. I get they're trying to do something different.
It was a good idea. It was just hard when you thought you were going the right way because that's the direction that they told you to go, but you just went a little too far. And then you're stuck because you think that you have to, like, jump over something that you can't jump over and you die. And it's just, that wasn't our favorite part. Or at least my favorite part. I shouldn't talk for you, but... That wasn't my favorite part.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of a little annoying. But I did like that you were able to have a waypoint, like you were saying. I think it helped a lot. And it didn't cause, like, confusion. And because you have to save after you finish a chapter, it helped to not make it, like, the longest chapter of your life. Because I think the 5-hour one was the longest one that we had, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but even by purpose, it wasn't supposed to be that long.
Right,
yeah.
not even by purpose, but, like...
It just sucks because you're like, okay, I'm kind of done playing.
Yeah, but you can't stop. You can't be like, alright, I'll figure this out later. It's you have to figure it out now or lose all your progress.
Which brings up a point, is we blitzed through Halo 2 last December. That's actually when we started, was December. We blitzed through that pretty quick in like a 2-3 day time span. But like...
ODST too.
ODST we blitzed through 2. We kind of took a break during 3 to play God of War 2018, which we have a separate video on that.
So good.
But
So good.
the issue we kind of ran into with our scheduling, because we've been super crazy slammed since June 1st of 2022, is we only could play like a level or 2 at a time, like each night, and so we couldn't really blitz through just because we didn't know how long they would take, and we'd be scared to like be up till 11 when we work at like 8 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of an issue I can kind of bounce off her from on ODST, but that's kind of where I'm at. What would you rank ODST out of 10?
I actually kind of liked it more than I liked 3.
Okay.
Just because it was kind of fun to... Because you're going through, like a city. Like, you're going through a whole city. And so you get to see, like, how
Mombasa City.
Yeah. So you get to see, like, the city itself, and it's cool to, like, go through and see, like, how, I guess they would see the world at that time. Because everything's kind of exaggerated with technology. And it's cool because there was those little stations that you got to hear what was happening during that time when the aliens were taking over. So that was kind of cool. So I liked that, and I really liked... I liked being able to go through the mall and then fighting everyone through there. I thought that was kind of fun. Because we kind of did... We did, like, a tag, like, team kind of thing. So he would, like, go on top and I'd go on bottom. Or I'd go on top and he'd go on bottom because I'm more of a strategic, sit back, do what you gotta do. Cody's more of the run into fire. And so it made it better for us to do it that way. And we would kind of use each other if one of us died to just be able to go back, and then that way we didn't have to, like,
kind
restart.
of a cheat mechanic.
Yeah, we cheated the system, but it was great because it worked. But I would probably give it, with all of that, I'd probably give it like a 7. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it way more than I liked 3, but it wasn't my favorite. So I would say it's like a good 7. There wasn't anything like super special about it. But there were like fun things. It wasn't like a bad game at all.
No. It was just different.
It was very different. I need to work on lighting.
And then for our final one, which Chris, you want to talk about, it seems like earlier, was Halo Reach. We just finished Reach, which is the prequel to 1, which is technically the first game chronologically speaking, with the Noble Six, the 6 Warriors. So with Reach, I would put Halo Reach and Halo 2 at number 1, tied right now. I don't have a consensus yet on which one I like the most. And then I would say Reach and 2.
Reach and 2.
So I do Reach and 2 as number 1, I would do number 1 as number 2, and then I would do number 3, and then ODST is how I would rank the games. And I actually have 0 issues with Reach. I think the Noble 6 Warriors are cool. I was reading they actually originally wanted to do 8, but they cut it back to 6 because they felt like it'd be too much rush time to meet all the characters individually. I think it's interesting how they all kind of die as well. I kind of thought that going in because I was like, you don't see them in any of the sequel games. Obviously, they could be doing something different. I think only one of the Noble 6 survived with Dr. Halsey where we left off. Yeah. But I think the ending was great. The Lone Wolf chapter was kind of cool. You just play until you die, and that's just how you go out. Like, that's an interesting mechanic. I thought that was kind of cool and different. I kind of got our first achievement beating a chapter on Legendary, the hardest difficulty, because I just set it to Legendary on the Epilogue chapter, which is just a 40-second cutscene. And we got the achievement because we beat it. So that was kind of funny.
Hardest one we've ever done.
I don't have anything bad to say about Reach. I have a hard time comparing that and 2 because they're a little bit different, but 2 just had so much going for it, and Reach I think was luckily had the success of the other trilogy. I still think it's a great game, but it kind of had something to kind of go off of as well, where 2 kind of just had the first one, and they can just kind of go from ground zero to the atmosphere with everything, which they did. So I'd put Reach and 2 at the same spot. I don't have any complaints about Reach. I kind of thought it was like a Rogue One going in. It kind of turned out being that, like Star Wars, where you meet this really cool cast of characters and they all die by the end of the film, because in Star Wars A New Hope, they all died beating the plants of the Death Star, and it's kind of the same here, where they all died throughout either getting sniped in the head, kamikazing, an energy sword, through like the stomach. So those are kind of the ways that they kind of went about it, but overall, I give Reach a 10 out of 10. The first one, the second one, and Reach 10 out of 10s, and then 3 and ODST for me are 6.5 to 7s. I would replay Reach 100%. Playing all of them co-op with Kristy has actually been a lot of fun and added a lot to the Bungie era. I don't think, and I've told her, I don't think I'd enjoy Halo as much of a single player. I don't think it'd be as fun. It'd feel like it's probably a normal game. I feel like it adds more having someone there with you playing through them, which a lot of people played them with somebody, which makes sense. But
the fact they took that away is so dumb.
Yeah, post Bungie Era, they did take it away in 5, and they're gonna be bringing it to Infinite. So I've heard. We will play 4. We'll talk about at the end of this after we talk about Reach here, but we are gonna play Halo 4. Like I said earlier, I don't know if we'll make a video on it, just depending on our thoughts on 4, because that's the first game 343 Industries made, where Bungie made the Core 5. So I'm really curious to see which route they go with 4. And I'm genuinely curious. Actually, I'm really kind of excited because 3 ends with him going into Chrono's sleep, and then she's still there, Cortana. He said, like, wake me up, I think, if you need me or something. And then I'm just excited to see where 4 takes place because I've heard it is a time skip, so kind of curious. But overall, the Bungie series, I think, is great. I think the nostalgia obviously isn't there for me as a kid, but I think just us playing through it were really great memories. I'd recommend Halo to any couple or 2 friends that want to play. It's definitely a really good time. I just think 3 and ODSTs weren't as good as the other 3, personally. But I think they ended strong with Reach, and I kind of like where it left off. And that's kind of my consensus on the Bungie Era and Halo Reach. So what's your consensus on Reach?
I liked Reach. There was a couple parts where I felt like they had overdone it with the enemies. Like, especially that one where you had to get into that door to get in. I thought that was kind of ridiculous.
Oh, I think I remember what you're talking about. Where, like, you're on, like, that, like, lake area.
Yeah, on that hill, and then like you're stuck trying to like retract back, and you were in the tank.
I forgot what it's called.
And then I had the ghost. And stuff. Scorpion.
Is it Scorpion?
I thought it was Scorpion.
I thought that was like the giant things they drove down. No, I think it's Scorpion.
I think it's Scorpion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I thought was kind of ridiculous. I felt like there was a couple times where it was just overdone with the enemies, just because like you couldn't move and you'd be being shot at. Ridiculous. Like it was just too much. But I liked it at the same time. But I just felt like it was just like I couldn't imagine that being a 1-person mission.
Yeah, I mean, I assume they diluted a little bit.
I would think so, but like even then, like
yeah, I get what you're saying because you can't like cheat the system with respawning either.
Yeah, we did that a lot. But I did like Reach. I liked the Lone Ranger kind of thing.
After the epilogue. I thought it was interesting. I really did. I didn't hate it by any means. I thought it was kind of a cool way to go out. Like, you just play till you die.
We took a guess on who was going to die next. Because we just kept feeling like it was going to be one person at the very end. And I liked who was left.
Who was with Dr. Halsey? You mean?
Well...
That's the one.
Before... Not that one. The one that was left to fight. Like the lone guy. He was like,
Noble 6?
Stay. Yeah. I liked that he stayed. I thought that was really cool. I liked that he was like the last one to like go with a big bang. Because the last one we don't see, because he left with the doctor. Which
I imagine... I don't know anything about 4, except for kind of how it starts, which I read on Reddit. I just know kind of like some EU knowledge, the expanded universe to know, which I think I've shared with her.
A little bit.
But I have no idea what happens in 4. And so I'm just really curious what another company does when they pick it up. I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see 4. I am very ready to go play. I think it'll be great.
So what would you give Reach out of 10?
I'd give Reach like an 8.5.
So you wouldn't give any of them 10s?
No. I don't think I will.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I don't know what they're missing, but...
and then what would you give the Bungie Era, now that you've played through the 5 games, like people played with when they were kids throughout their teenhood?
I think that's so funny. What would I give it?
Like the whole era, yeah. Like 1 through 3 ODST and Reach, like just your opinion, like out of 10. Like what do you think of the 5 games?
Like the whole game series, like the story-wise, or?
Yeah, just the Bungie Era now as a whole, all 5. How they interconnect.
I think they all create a great story, and I'm really excited to see more what they do, especially with like Infinity and After 4 and stuff. I would probably give them overall a 9. Overall 9.
And you'd recommend the series to someone, though?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I like Halo a lot. I like shooting games. I like this a lot. I like it way more than I would for Call of Duty. I think it's really good, but it's had moments of...
She always called it Call of Duty.
I did. It reminds me a lot of Call of Duty.
It
resembles a lot with Call of Duty, but I like it a lot. There are some games that I like a little bit more, but I do like Halo a lot, and I'm really excited to see where the story goes.
I actually would recommend the Master Chief Collection to anyone that does want to buy it, by the way. It has the first 4 games already installed, and then you can do Halo 3 ODST and Reach as DLC for $5 and $10. So for all of it together, this only costed me a total of, because this was $30 and then the $15 for the other 2. So $45 for all 5 games is not a bad price in my opinion at all. It's literally $10 a game. So if you want to look at it, it's $10 a game and $5 for ODST, because that's the shortest one. And it's, I think, well worth it. I love the Xbox case actually, and I like, if you can kind of see it, you guys have probably seen it a little bit. It has like the 4 original icons of the covers of those 4 games. So that's kind of cool. I think it's a great addition, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything. We're gonna start Halo 4 now, after we go get some leather bees. It sounds so good right now.
We didn't discuss that.
But, I think that was mainly everything, guys. One last thing I guess I will add is I know one level Kristy did not like in the first game was the ending level where you're on a warthog, and there's a timer and a ship. I think that was actually probably the hardest level, not counting the 5-hour one, because that level wasn't hard. We just broke the order of events.
And we just didn't know where to go.
The Warthog one, we were on a timer. They kind of duplicate it in 3.
They love it so much.
They did ended 2 games.
It's like Crash Bandicoot.
I love Crash, actually.
I know you do.
This is actually our first. Actually, this is our second kind of like video game review on the channel.
Oh yeah.
Because we have God of War. I love Crash Bandicoot. I don't think we'll make a video on that. We're just making a video on this because like it was such a cool moment for us playing throughout Halo, and I just kind of post videos depending on like what's going on and the scenario surrounding them. So, but we're gonna go take care of Halo 4, tweet some leather bees, and then we'll kind of just go from there, guys. So, thank you so much for watching.
Thanks.
And we hope you guys enjoy. Have a good one.
Bye.